Maybe some of you know or remember our last year's Advents calendar Granny Square Windmill, and you know I love spirals, and so I thought this would make a beautiful Christmas star too. So here we go. You start with a magic ring and 5 single crochets. This will be a 6-pointed star. So magic ring with 5 single crochets. You close the ring as usual with 1 slip stitch into the first single crochet. Start the second round with 1 turning chain and 1 single crochet into the very first stitch, chain 3 and 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and repeat this, chain 3 and 1 single crochet into the next stitch. So at the end of the round, here I have my last chain 3, and you close the round with 1 slip stitch into the first single crochet. That did produce a tiny little flower-like shape. So round 3, you start with a single crochet in the very first stitch. So chain 1 and 1 single crochet into that very first stitch, and 1 single crochet into that following chain. Chain 3 and 1 single crochet into the single crochet of the previous round, and 1 single crochet into the following chain. Chain 3. So we are working spirals, no dedicated rounds. We're always working on and on. So throughout the round, 1 single crochet into the single crochet of the previous round, 1 single crochet in the immediate following chain, and chain 3. And you see when you are ready, when you are at the end of the round, because then you have more single crochets on the same space as you had before. So here we only have 1, and for the next round you see we already have 2 single crochets in line. So we still have 3 chain 3, and we work 2 single crochets into the single crochets of the previous round, and 2 single crochets into the chain immediate after. Chain 3, 2 single crochets into the single crochets of the previous round, and 2 single crochets into the chain right after. And continue this throughout the round. Chain 3, 1 single crochet each into the 2 single crochets of the previous round, and 2 single crochets into the following chain. Now for the 5th round, work chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a regular round now, because from now on you always work 1 single crochet less than before. So you always skip the first single crochet. Now you work 2 single crochets and 2 single crochets into the chain after the single crochets. Chain 4, skip the first single crochet, work 2 single crochets, so 1 each in the 2 remaining single crochets of the previous round, and 2 single crochets into the chain after. Chain 4 and repeat. Now 6th round, chain 4 and 3 single crochets into the single crochets of the previous round, plus 2 into the chain after. So always keep the first single crochet of the single crochet group, chain 4, skip the first one, then 3 single crochets onto the single crochets of the previous round and 2 single crochets into the chain after. And continue like that. Chain 4 and 3 single crochets, and 2 into the chain after. So now for the 7th round, 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 4 and 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets and 2 into the chain after. So always 4 and 4 single crochets and 2 into the chain after. Now 8th round accordingly, chain 5 and 5 single crochets plus 2. So chain 5, skip the first single crochet as always, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets plus 2 into the chain after the group of single crochets. And chain 5 and again 5 single crochets into the single crochets of the previous round plus 2 into the chain after, and always skip the first single crochet. So that produces the curve of the windmill. And in round 9 we continue with chain 6 and 6 single crochets plus 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, chain 6 and 6 single crochets into the single crochets of the previous round plus 2 single crochets. Don't forget the 2 single crochets after the group of single crochets. I sometimes forget them. So round 9, chain 6 and 6 plus 2 single crochets throughout the round. Of course, if you are unsure about the ends of the rounds, place a marker, a little piece of yarn at the beginning of the round. Two more to go. Next round, you already see the star form appearing. And now in round 10, work chain 7 and 7 single crochets plus 2 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, chain 7 and 7 single crochets into the single crochets of the previous round, plus 2 into the chain after. Only one more round to go, but of course you may add more rounds if you want to get the star bigger. And round 11, chain 8 and 8 single crochets plus 2 into the chain after the group of single crochets. So round 11, chain 8 and 8 single crochets plus 2. Almost done. And now we are going to work the form of the star a little better. And after those 2 single crochets into the chain, you work chain 3 and 8 single crochets into the chain. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and continue with 1 single crochet into every following single crochet. And for the next chain again, so 1 single crochet into every single crochet of the previous round. And into the next chain, 2 single crochets, chain 3 plus 8 single crochets. 2 single crochets plus chain 3 plus 8 single crochets. Continue throughout the round and close the round with 1 slip stitch into the first single crochet. So ready, a little blocking, and this is a very beautiful star. And as I've told you, you may add more rounds for a bigger star. Enjoy this little beauty.